My name is Mac, and welcome back to yet another episode of Highlights from the Permanent Collection. This week we have something a little bit different in store, as we will be showcasing a building on campus known as the Otho Plummer Administration Building. Although this piece of architecture is not technically in our permanent collection, we feel showcasing it still serves our mission of educating our audience on art accessible here at Lamar University. The information being showcased in this episode is from the National Register of Historic Places website. Additionally, I would like to take this moment to thank Richard Gachot for allowing me to interview him as part of this week's episode and for all he has done regarding the education of architecture and preservation of the Plummer. Originally known as the Lamar State College of Technology Administration Building, is a circular, one-story, mid-century modern structure on the campus of Lamar University. Referred to now simply as the Plummer Building, it sits atop of the pie-shaped quad on campus, serving as both a symbol of leadership as well as an iconic visual entry marker for the college along the original Beaumont-Port Arthur Highway, known now as MLK Jr. Parkway. 3 separate entryways lead to a large circular interior courtyard with landscaped border gardens. With the exception of small renovations, such as the covered walkway, the building fully retains its historic integrity as built in 1959, both on the exterior and interior. The Otho Plummer Administration Building is an iconic landmark at Lamar University and reflects the atomic age design of the era and has inspired many artists and been enjoyed by students, faculty, and staff throughout the decades. The Plummer Building was designed by Beaumont architect L.W. Pitts, with help from his team, which included, at the time, up-and-coming architect Milton Bell, who created the rendering of the building after the construction had finished. When the plan to build something new came to the surface, the college grappled with many ideas, but couldn't quite get to a good place. It was the president at the time, F.L. McDonald, who was conscious of architecture and how it could affect a campus, suggested they work with an architecture firm, choosing Pitts, Mabane, and Phelps, with seasoned architect Pitts taking the lead. He believed a donut-shaped building would best utilize the existing space and, in essence, have multiple fronts. The building was the perfect symbol for a college which prided itself on being futuristic. Lamar's alumni publication celebrated the new administration building as revolutionary, and the Beaumont newspaper included advertisements celebrating Lamar's rapid growth and multi-million-dollar expansion. A story about the new sensationally designed donut-shaped administration building identified it as the first round educational building in the field of college architecture. An adjacent advertisement featured symbols of a new era, including streamlined cars, which resembled spaceships, chemistry beakers, and an atomic symbol. The building name changed from simply the College Administration Building to the Plummer Building in 1976, honoring the Lamar Regent Otho Plummer. Plummer was well known for his 42 consecutive years on the Board of Regents, a record in Texas and perhaps the nation, and for his role as a businessman and even mayor of Beaumont. He attended Lamar when it was South Park Junior College and was very successful, playing basketball and baseball, being named Prince of the College, and eventually being admitted into the Cardinal Hall of Fame. Interestingly enough, we can thank Mr. Plummer, who gave Lamar its name in 1932. A contest was held to give South Park Junior College a new name as it transitioned into a 4-year university, and Otho Plummer provided the winning essay. Though the Plummer Building is an important part of Lamar's folklore and identity, and here a wealth of events took place, not only the decision-making of presidents and regents, but parades, holiday events such as Cardinal Lights, protests for African American rights, and faculty marching to commencements. Unfortunately, it remains just a building to some and is often criticized. Richard Gachot, who has a degree in architecture and is a current LU professor in the College of Art and Design for nearly 16 years, has worked with Beaumont Main Street and the LU's Honor College on architectural assignments, over time befriending Milton Bell, who worked on the team who designed the building. Gachot says he has never seen another building like it, and felt inspired to protect it after learning about the history from Mr. Bell. Thanks to the efforts of Richard Gachot, Penny Clark, who is the Lamar University archivist, and Charlotte Holloman, a library associate, the building was listed under the National Register of Historic Places in 2015 after 2 long years of work and over 70 pages of official research, ensuring its place on campus for the foreseeable future and solidifying the honor it deserves. The building was accepted under 2 criteria: education and architecture. In terms of education, the building was a symbol for progress at Lamar, which has a heritage of innovation to meet the needs of the students and industries of the region. Additionally, Lamar had been the first in the state of Texas to grow from a tiny junior college to Lamar State College of Technology, a 4-year state-supported institution. In terms of architecture, the Otho Plummer Administration Building serves as an example of post-war modern architecture, a unique example of a circular building in an academic setting that through its form, materials, and iconography embody a progressive 1950s idealism in technology. In the words of Richard Gachot, architecture is an art form that is not well understood by most people. Up to the 1960s, there was an emphasis of art and architecture in our area, thanks to funding provided by the oil industry. But if you take a deeper look into the history of Beaumont, a lot of spectacular architecture has been unfortunately replaced by parking lots. A much broader conversation about the effects of racism and, quote, white flight to more suburban areas could be discussed, as well as the cultural ignorance of the art of architecture, and how our society has chosen a focus on functionality over design oftentimes. Building and architecture are not the same. Architecture is the art of building, and building is simply for function. To end this week's episode, I leave us with another quote from Professor Gachot. I don't know where the solution is, but I do think people can turn towards appreciating the things around us more. In the future, let us all take more time to enjoy the parks and buildings around us, and think about how we can preserve them or make them more sustainable. Someone planned and designed each aspect, and I believe that deserves at least our recognition. Thanks for joining us this week, and we will see you next time. Have a great weekend.